Israel is facing an unprecedented crisis that threatens to dismantle the very fabric of its society and economy. Once hailed as a beacon of innovation and resilience in the Middle East, Israel now finds itself on the edge of an economic abyss. With over 46,000 businesses already shuttered and a looming threat of total state failure, the question is no longer if Israel will collapse, but when. In this video, we'll explore the shocking indicators pointing toward Israel's economic doom, the internal and external factors driving this downward spiral, and whether there is any hope for recovery. Stick around as we delve deep into the heart of Israel's economic turmoil because the stakes have never been higher. Israel's economic decline is visible in every corner of its economy. Over 46,000 businesses have declared bankruptcy, a staggering number that could balloon to 60,000 by the end of 2024. This wave of business closures far surpasses the economic impact experienced during COVID-19 pandemic. Once thriving sectors like tourism and retail have been hit the hardest. Tourism, which was a cornerstone of Israel's economy, has all but dried up, leaving behind a trail of empty hotels, restaurants, and tour companies. But the tourism sector isn't the only one in trouble. The celebrated tech industry, which has long been Israel's pride and joy, is now facing a crisis of its own. International tech giants are pulling out, citing the increasing risks of operating in Israel. The most significant blow came when Intel canceled its $25 billion investment plan, a decision that sent shockwaves through the Israeli economy. This exodus isn't about losing foreign capital, it's a signal that global investors no longer see Israel as a safe or profitable place to do business. The collapse of these industries is not just an economic issue, it's a societal one. With businesses closing and jobs disappearing, more and more Israelis are finding themselves unemployed and without prospects. This economic despair is fueling social unrest, creating a volatile mix that could explode at any moment. Before we go further, if you find this analysis crucial, please hit that like button and share this video with others who need to understand the gravity of the situation. Your support helps us continue to bring important issues like this to light. The tech sector has always been the crown jewel of Israel's economy. Known as the startup nation, Israel has been a hub for innovation, attracting billions in foreign investments and producing some of the world's most successful tech companies. However, the tide has turned. The ongoing conflict, coupled with the government's far-right policies, has made Israel an increasingly unattractive destination for tech companies. In the first quarter of 2023 alone, foreign investments in Israel plummeted by 60%. This decline is not just a temporary setback, it's a sign of a deeper, more troubling trend. The withdrawal of Intel's $25 billion investment is the most glaring example of this trend. Intel's decision was influenced by a combination of factors, including the instability caused by the conflict with Palestine, the deteriorating international reputation of Israel, and the increasing influence of far-right policies that alienate global partners. The exodus of tech companies from Israel is more than just a loss of jobs and revenue. It represents the erosion of Israel's future. The tech industry has been the engine driving Israel's economy, and without it, the country faces a bleak economic outlook. The brain drain that accompanies this exodus is equally concerning. Over 42,000 highly skilled professionals have left Israel since the unrest began in October 2023. There are the innovators, the engineers, the thought leaders who were supposed to drive Israel's economy into the future. Their departure leaves a void that will be difficult, if not impossible, to fill. What do you think? Is Israel's tech sector decline a temporary setback, or are we witnessing the irreversible downfall of the startup nation? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Israel's aggressive actions in Gaza and its increasingly right-wing government policies have not only drawn the ire of Muslim-majority countries, but have also alienated many of its traditional allies. This growing international isolation is another nail in the coffin for Israel's economy. The recent United Nations vote, where an overwhelming majority of countries called for the recognition of Palestine, is a clear indicator of Israel's diminishing global standing. Even former allies like Turkey and Colombia have distanced themselves, cutting off trade relations and voicing their opposition to Israel's policies. The economic consequences of this isolation are severe. Sanctions and trade restrictions are beginning to bite, and key industries like construction and energy are feeling the strain. Turkey's ban on exports to Israel and Colombia's suspension of coal shipments have crippled vital industries. Israel primarily relies on natural gas for its power grid, but it still depends on coal for supplementary needs. With the loss of coal supplies from Colombia and potential disruptions from other major suppliers like South Africa and Russia, Israel is facing significant power shortages. This energy crisis threatens to plunge the country into darkness, both literally and metaphorically. The international community's growing condemnation of Israel's action is also affecting its credit rating and bond status. Israel's bonds are now trading close to junk status, a clear sign that the global financial markets have lost confidence in the country's ability to manage its economy. This downgrade has led to a vicious cycle where Israel's access to international credit is severely restricted, further exacerbating its economic woes. The economic crisis is tearing apart the social fabric of Israel. The internal ideological split between the ultra-conservative factions and the more liberal, productive segments of society is widening. The ultra-conservatives, while increasingly in power, contribute little to economy, relying on government welfare and retaining exemptions from military service. On the other hand, the liberal segments, which have been the backbone of Israel's economy, are being driven out of the country. Internal displacement is another pressing issue. Approximately 250,000 Israelis are now internally displaced due to the conflicts with Hezbollah and other regional actors. This displacement disrupts daily life and further strains the economy as productive members of the workforce are uprooted. The erosion of judicial oversight under right-wing pressure is guiding Israel towards a form of governance that resembles lawlessness and overt Jewish supremacy. This shift threatens not only domestic stability, but also Israel's standing within the international community. Without the support of liberal democratic forces, Israel risks becoming an international pariah, potentially triggering comprehensive sanctions that would further isolate the state and dismantle the trade relations that keep the economy afloat. The United States has long been Israel's staunchest ally, providing substantial military aid and diplomatic support. However, by enabling the current Israeli government's actions, U.S. policy may inadvertently be contributing to Israel's internal fracture. As far as right intensifies its grip on power, the liberal factions, which maintain crucial alliances and trade partnerships, may diminish, undermining Israel's economic and political stability. The compounding effects of these internal and external pressures could very well lead to a monumental collapse. Israel's future appears precarious, and the broader global community will need to grapple with the consequences of a destabilizing Middle Eastern nation whose actions reverberate far beyond its borders. Israel is at a crossroads. The decision made in the coming months will determine whether it can pull back from the brink or whether it will continue its downward spiral into economic and social collapse. The nation's survival is no longer a given, and the path forward is fraught with challenges. As Israel grapples with this unprecedented crisis, one thing is clear: the stakes have never been higher, and the world is watching. If you found this video insightful, please like, subscribe, and share it with others. Together we can continue to shed light on the critical issues that matter most. Stay safe. Thanks for watching.